Ever get that feeling, like you're being gently pushed towards buying something, but you can't quite put your finger on why? Well, it turns out brand influence is way more powerful than we often think. Today, we're diving deep into a really fascinating book, Martin Lindstrom's Brand Brainwashing. And Lindstrom, I mean, he wasn't just some outsider looking in, he was a top marketing consultant. He worked with huge names, Coca-Cola, Disney, Microsoft. He helped them build these strategies. And now, well, now he's revealing their secrets.
Yeah, and what's really telling is that Lindstrom actually tried to do a brand fast himself for 6 months. Tried to live without buying or using any brands. And he couldn't do it. He failed, which just goes to show how embedded they are in everything we do. So our mission today really is to unpack how these brands tap into our, our basic needs, our emotions, how they set up these little thinking crafts to steer our buying habits.
Okay, let's get into it. So the first big thing is how brands prey on our weaknesses, like fear. Remember the avian flu scare back in 2009? Sales of Purell and Clorox wipes just shot up. It wasn't really about logic, was it? It was anxiety.
Exactly. And the marketing was pretty clever, or maybe deceptive is the word. Purell mentioned WHO guidelines. But the WHO actually recommended plain old soap and water first, then alcohol-based rubs if soap wasn't available, not specific brands. See, fear kind of bypasses our rational thinking. It hits that primal fight-or-flight button, even when there's no real danger. Makes us buy impulsively.
Right. And it's not just big, scary things like pandemics. It's everyday stuff, too. Like the fear of failure, those L'Oreal ads showing your future slightly terrifying self. Or even the fear of loneliness. Think about the WeChat login screen, that little solitary figure against the big planet. It all kind of pokes at our insecurities, doesn't it?
It really does. And then there's nostalgia. Brands don't just want your present. They want to occupy your past, as Lindstrom puts it. Like that trend with Baby Yang's bagged ice cream. People weren't necessarily raving about the taste.
Right. It was about the childhood memories it brought back. Yeah, it's about selling an experience, not just a thing. Like those old Kodak Moment ads, the first birthday candle, graduation. They were linking Kodak film to your most precious memories, so buying it felt like holding onto something special.
And you can't forget the desire for sex. Oh. It's fundamental. Brands definitely use that. Think about Axe body spray ads. You spray it, suddenly you're irresistible. It's playing straight into that basic male drive. Lindstrom even talks about car design, how some shapes subtly mimic the female form. It's all about tapping into that subconscious appeal.
So, okay, they target our individual fears, memories, desires, but they also target us as groups, right? Through peer pressure, or as it's called. That instinct we have to look at what others are doing and then kind of copy them. That if they have it, I need it feeling.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Remember the Zuzu Pets craze in 2009? That was a masterclass. They used viral marketing, giveaways, got influencer moms involved, and created artificial scarcity. It made everyone feel like they had to have one or they'd miss out. It's kind of the same dynamic you see with like new iPhone launches, those cues.
Yeah, that makes sense. But sometimes it feels less obvious. Like, how else do they create that pressure?
Well, think about online rankings or recommendations. Like on iTunes or other platforms, you assume they reflect genuine popularity, right? But often, those top spots are paid placements. It looks like everyone loves that song or app, which nudges you towards it, but it's actually just advertising disguised as social proof.
Sneaky. Lindstrom also mentioned something about this being stronger in certain places.
Yeah, he observed that peer pressure around consumption seems particularly high in some Asian countries, China, India, Russia. He linked it maybe to a collective desire for global status, leading to more emphasis on showing off luxury brands.
And the final piece, which feels maybe the most modern, is big data. This whole industry of knowledge mining and consumer insight. It's huge, right? Over $100 billion.
Massive. And its whole purpose is tracking what you buy, what you browse, everything to predict what you'll buy next. And maybe nudge you in that direction. Here's a scary stat. Apparently, getting someone to accept a free product trial makes them 80% likely to keep buying that product for over a year and a half. It's not about generosity.
Yeah.
It's about getting you hooked and getting your data. So those electronic coupons you get on your phone or email, they're not just saving you money.
Not primarily, no. They're data collectors. Yeah. They can link your purchase to your online profile, figure out your age, income bracket, maybe your gender, what apps you use, your location via IP address. Even if you have pets, it's incredibly granular.
Think about the Starbucks rewards program. You buy 15 coffees, you get one free. Seems nice, right? But really, it's about Starbucks collecting super precise data on exactly when, where, and what you buy. A Starbucks VP basically said it. We collect data to understand purchasing behavior, to gain correlations.
Correlations, like finding unexpected links.
Exactly. Lindstrom calls it the adjacent space. He gives an example of a Canadian grocery store analyzing data. They found, weirdly, that people buying coconuts are often also buying prepaid phone cards. That helped them identify a specific demographic, likely Southeast Asian customers, without ever asking.
So the data reveals things we don't even realize about ourselves, or at least our community.
Precisely. Brands, through data, almost have this window to our soul, as Lindstrom puts it. It gives them this incredibly powerful, often totally invisible influence over us.
Okay, so let's recap. We've looked at 3 main ways brands, well, brainwash us, according to Lindstrom. Exploiting basic human weaknesses like fear and nostalgia.
Leveraging peer pressure, both obviously and, sneakily.
And finally, using big data to understand and predict our every move.
So when you think about all that, what really jumps out at you, for me, it's this idea of brands acting like invisible lobbyists, quietly influencing our deepest feelings.
Yeah. But importantly, the book isn't saying, okay, throw out all brands. I mean, Lindstrom himself couldn't do it. The goal seems to be more about awareness, empowering us as consumers to be a bit more rational, maybe a bit more skeptical about why we want what we want, to make more conscious choices.
Exactly. Which really leaves us with a big question to ponder, doesn't it? Next time you reach for your wallet, are you making the choice? Or has the brand already made it for you?